Yes. Yes, I do want to start the stream. Thank you for asking, OBS. How'd my mic get up so high? I don't know what's going on tonight. I think that there's a ghost in my computer. That's weird, right? That's not a normal thing. To have a haunted computer? So anyway, yeah, there's a ghost in my computer. And I guess I'm just dealing with it. That's a little loud, isn't it? I'm gonna turn it down. I don't know how that sounds. I've been dealing with the typical pre-show haunted computers. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. It's like Windows were turning themselves upside down in the stream. Like, I'm using this software called OBS, and what you do is you take a bunch of like video sources and audio sources and you stick them all together and you make like the stream out of it. And right before, and it's always like this, like fun little dance before the show. It doesn't matter when I start to prepare for the show. It doesn't matter because it just means that I'll have to restart my computer more times to finally get things to work. Like I've got like a tablet right here that I'm painting on. I've got, what's up, Joe Lackey? How you doing, man? I was just bitching about computers. And so then I got this over here where I got my chat. I got some reference here. And I've got a friend calling in tonight, Elizabeth Albright. She's gonna be here in like 20 minutes or something. And then I had like all this audio stuff that kept happening, like, and my Bluetooth headphones were like disconnecting themselves. It's a poltergeist. No other explanation really fits, to be honest. So, you know. Eva, I am definitely connected on YouTube and streaming. So if you can't see me in a couple minutes, I mean, they probably put a delay on the stream on YouTube. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure. You know, at this point, I just don't know what's going on with anything. I think it's the Sahara desert clouds that are coming over, sweeping over the Carolinas. You know, causing all kinds of madness. So tonight, my friend Chris Bradbury, Cabby, he's a comic book artist. We do a lot of comic shows together. He sent me a piece to do the coloring work on. And I think I know that's what I've decided this is what I'm gonna do tonight. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the colorist work on this piece. So what happens in this situation is somebody draws it, which in this case was Chris, Cabby, and then he sends it off to an inker who puts the inks on it, and that is Stag, and damn it, I'll have to look up his name. Let's see. I need to look up his name. I need to take a minute, look up his name. Mark Stegbauer. Mark Stegbauer was the inker on this piece, did a really good job. And so then there's yet another third person that involved in this process this time, which is Flatter. And it is Miriam on Fiverr. I don't remember her last name, and I'm just not going to look it up right now. Eva, I'm on the flat screen. Awesome. You know, be sure to get all this in HD. So anyways, what a flatter does, and she did a great job. I will give her props sometime when I can do all that crap. You don't want to watch me Google more stuff. She gets this set up where I can start doing my painting, and it'll be more clear in a minute, but she just puts flat color everywhere. And a lot of flatters will, it's really just kind of a tedious process, and I think that she's an artist. So she's an artist herself, so she wanted to actually put a little bit of her own creative stuff in here. And so she used real colors. A lot of times when you get a flatter to do stuff, I mean, not that I have a lot of experience with it yet, but a lot of times they'll send it back with random colors. And in fact, I might actually tweak this a little bit so I can start with random colors. Maybe not, I don't know. And the reason why is so you can not be kind of swayed by what they want to do, what they decided to do. So the point is, all these colors are going to be changing. I've got some ideas on how to do this piece, I think, and we'll see how far we can get on it tonight. So that's what we're going to do. So probably what I'm going to start with is just dropping in some colors on this. I think probably I'm going to do a gradient in the sky. This is Conan the Barbarian, by the way. Pretty famous barbarian. Arguably one of the most famous barbarian, like probably the most famous barbarian. So actually I already did that before we came on. I put a gradient in the sky, so I think I'm going to work with this kind of thing. There's going to be a lot more painting involved, but right now I'm starting with the basics, you know. And I'm not super experienced at doing colorist work, but it's really something that I want to possibly do more of, you know. I'm getting ready to start on the, well, not getting ready to, but soon I'll be starting on the art for my own comic that I actually just finished the second draft of my comic today. It's a 4-book comic, graphic novel, and I just finished the second draft. It was a lot of work. It's taken me, I think I put the first word on paper about this time last year, so I've already been working on it for a year, and I hope to start on the artwork at the end of the year, but there's still a lot of editing and stuff to do. I mean, second draft, sometimes you can get 5 drafts in a book, but anyways, you know, I really like, I've always loved comics, and so, you know, I'm gonna explore this avenue of art. I mean, I used to make comics, and I just kind of stopped for a while, but now I think I might be back. Now that I'm an old man, I've decided I would get back into comics. But this is Chris's style. He does a lot of cool stuff like this. He uses a lot of characters like Conan, and we actually did. Let me show you this before we start. He and I, a couple years ago, we did a collaboration together where we painted a bunch of Batman rogues. So let me open these up, show you guys. He did the pencils on these, and and then I painted them. So here's Scarecrow. I haven't looked at these in a while. Here's the Scarecrow piece. And let's see, who else did we do? We did Poison Ivy. And you know, Chris is really good. He's really good at drawing. So, you know, he would do the pencils and then I would paint it. Poison Ivy, we did the penguin. Kind of like how that penguin came out. We did it kind of old school East End gangster kind of penguin, that style. And then we did Mr. Freeze. So there's Mr. Freeze. That was a lot of fun to do. This is a little bit different because it's more of a straight up colorist job, that more traditional colorist job. So that's what we got going on. And you know, I've got a tiny bit of performance anxiety just because I've got to make decisions here, and I've also, like, watching the chat, got somebody calling in, and I want to make this good. I want to make it real good, so I think I'm just going to start with the blood because I know I'm going to change that color. And I'm just going to start picking colors. You know, this is really bright, and this is, you know, fine for a lot of, I mean, it's fine. I like to do stuff a little bit more different, more painterly, I guess maybe you'd say. So we'll just see where it goes. I'm just going to start. It's probably going to look like ass for a while. I'm going to start on it. Conan himself, I mean, I guess that skin tone is okay. This was her original flat job, and I made it a little brighter. I think this monster guy, this troll, is going to be, we're going to try like a weird otherworldly green. I think that'll pop really well with Conan here. Yeah, Eva, I think, well, I don't know, Poison Ivy's not sold out. I think I'm just out right now. And those actually aren't on my website, are they? Yeah, just get in touch with me, and I'll get you one, Poison Ivy. Also, you know what I think I'm gonna do? I was thinking about this earlier. I'm gonna do something different. This is something typically saved for the end, but I think I'm gonna try some texture in the ground. And I haven't decided what kind of texture yet, but I think I'm gonna like get some internet textures and put those on the ground. Let's see. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what's going on. I think this is like a fur stuff. It's a fur stuff. So. I think we're gonna, oops. Just gonna put some colors in here a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll work. I feel like this is like a sunset scene. I mean, a bloody sunset scene. And this monster is going to be like, I think making him lighter, brighter like this is going to, since he's like kind of traveling through the piece, I think it'll make everything else pop. So I think that's going to work. Let's see what happens, but I think it's going to work okay. Came in hot tonight, didn't I? How's everybody doing? I'm keeping an eye on my Zoom over here because Elizabeth should be calling any minute. Hey Lindsay, thanks. This is my friend Chris's art. I'm doing the colorist job on it. So this was inked by, I need to look his name up again and commit it to memory. I've never met him before. Inked by Mark Stegbauer, and before that penciled and dreamt up by my friend Chris Bradbury, who's goes by the name of Cat V Art. We do a lot of shows together, or we did before the thing, and we shall again, I hope. So I'm gonna see if I get some atmosphere in here. Like, use this color. Hey, what up, Chris? Chris is here. Say hi to Chris, guys. He's on YouTube. Watching with great interest. We'll see. What does that mean? Jeez, are you trying to put the pressure on me, man? Just kidding. Probably. I forget that sometimes that everybody else is behind. Or not. I like everybody. What I mean to say is that the stream, the chat is kind of behind the stream for me because. Never mind. So how's it going, Chris? How's it going, Lindsay? How's it going, Eva? You know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna like separate some of this stuff out. So label it so I can just start painting stuff willy-nilly. Brighten that sword up a little bit. I think hey Chris, that's cool, man. I'm glad that you came by at least and could. Yeah, I'm glad you came by. To say hello. I realize it's dinner time for some humans right now. Haven't done this in a while. I'm just kind of getting, I guess you'd say, set up here a little bit. Just what I'm doing is making selections and then I'm separating them out and putting clipping mask on them so I can edit colors one at a time and flip-flop around and change my mind a bunch and not have to reselect stuff again. How's everybody doing over there, Chris? You guys hanging in? So, oh yeah, I had an idea that I think I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna do like fiery backgrounds, you know, like a Conan background. And then I'm gonna do like maybe a blue fill light. So it'll be like reacting with the It'll be like a nice, I think it's going to be nice. And I'll probably put some, I don't know, I'm toying with the idea of making this snowy. We'll see. Got to keep an eye on the clock. Reselect this blood. We're gonna call this blood. Blood. It's the weird thing about red is you can't really do much with it as far as adding value to it, whole ton of value. Especially blood. It's one of these weird things. It's like if you try to lighten it a lot, it turns pink. We're gonna figure it out though. We're gonna get this guy's butt. That's what that's called, right? Butt cloth. We're gonna keep these colors a little bit desaturated at first. Conan, just a little bit too much of a pink boy right now. Oh, you know what? I want him to be like in shadow. So I'm gonna move him toward. And maybe we can bring some orange in from the back. It's a little too purple right now. Let's see what happens. Look at this sky. What I need to find is a picture, something good to, some good reference for this. should always look at the painting as you're moving your brush across the thing. Otherwise, you do this kind of shit while you're looking over at another screen. It doesn't work out great, always. I want to find a piece of reference for this. Just a few things. Let's see. Sunset. Hot sunset. Like that. That's got some pinks in it. So it's going behind the mountains. It's pretty cool. This is cool. It gets dark and black. Maybe that's the ticket. Instead of making it brighter, maybe you do something like this. So I like this because you can see the sky up here. That might be photoshopped, but all right, that's enough. It's enough to go by. Let me try something like that. Let me try something like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep it, but that's how it go. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. So these mountains are black, so maybe it gets black and then there's just like some hot red coming out from behind you. You know what would be good for this? My old friend Color Dodge. Let's see. Let's use a soft brush. Hey Chris, if you're still there, not exactly sure what to do with this border here. What's up, Daggerheart? Yeah, Chris, if you have any ideas for this border here, the flatter took this all the way to the end. I was thinking about just leaving it blank or doing something else. Maybe even putting, I mean, I like how the ink ends rough like that. I don't know. If you have any thoughts, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just decide to do something later. I keep coming back to it like, ugh, this blue here. It's like, why? It's driving me crazy. Yeah, Jonathan, this is my friend Chris. I probably mentioned it before. It's like we've done a couple projects together. You want to just crop it, Chris? I think I might expand it. If you want to crop it, I think I might just expand it, and like it'll be the same as cropping, but it'll stay 11 by 17. Jonathan, actually, Chris is here on the stream with you. You guys are both on YouTube. We did the Gotham Rogue series. Remember when I did those? I painted those Gotham Rogues, Poison Ivy, and Mr. Freeze and Scarecrow and Penguin. Chris was the penciler, the artist, and the concept guy. The drawer, and I was the painter. So he sent me another one. This was inked by Mark. Oh, fuck. This is the third time I've looked at his name. Mark Stegbauer. Mark Stegbauer. And so Chris did the pencils and the concepts. Mark did the inks, and I'm doing the colors. We're like a comic book squad team. All right, I'm gonna come back to that. I think I'm gonna render this, start rendering something in here. Let's see what we got. Here's a Conan the Barbarian. And I don't think I've brought this troll out yet. I think I'll just do it like that. Nah, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not gonna do it like that. All right. Let's see. So I think what I got set up here is I'm gonna do like just a orange fill and then a blue fill down here, maybe. Let's just see what it looks like. In case you guys were wondering, yes, I do talk to myself this much while I'm doing art. Not on the stream. Sometimes. I think I'm just might be pretty excited today because I finished a draft of the book, and yeah, it's pretty cool. On my way to having maybe a book at some point. Fuck. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to talk too much. Alright, so we're going to take this orangey color. Thanks, Kimberly. Yeah, like finished part 4 this morning of 4. Starting to feel like a story. Like I think you could probably read it and kind of get a story out of it right now. But it's still got a long way to go before it's ready for art and stuff, but it's getting there. After all that, I think I'm going to do the shadows first. My cat's trying to take over my house. Let's go over here. Let's actually go on the floor. Hey. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. My Zoom is being dumb.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't let me join. I don't know. And it made me update. And
Yeah, I had to update too earlier. I'm just glad that you can hear me and that I can see you and hear you. So
yeah, they wanted like a password at some point. I don't know. It didn't know what it was doing.
I
But it was,
consider it I consider it a victory. I'm gonna turn the music off.
let's
All
see.
right, cool. A lot going on the stream tonight.
Okay. I was trying to set this up so I can see you on your YouTube thing.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay,
Because I
cool.
can't see you. And it's weird.
Yeah, I
I
know, and
see what you're doing.
it.
So,
I know it is a little weird. But if you see me on the stream, it'll be like 2 minutes behind,
oh,
or
I know.
like not 2 minutes, but maybe like 10, 20 seconds behind.
But anyway, I'm here.
Hey, how's it going? How are you doing?
Same shit, different day.
Yeah,
uh,
same shit.
yeah,
Lots of inside time.
yeah, yeah. Well, we spend a lot of time in the yard. We got some hammocks and some like tiki torches to keep the mosquitoes away. So
That that's cool.
yeah, but I just feel like a house hobo. Is that like not a PC word anymore? I don't know. Like
Hobo?
I'm just in like yoga pants and t-shirts all the time, and I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't do anything because I'm like constantly working and taking care of animals and children, but
Right.
I'm yeah. How are you?
I'm okay, you know. I'm I'm pretty I guess I could say I'm kind of adapted to spending a lot of time at my apartment by myself. I mean, it's getting to be a bit much now. I mean, even a weird hermit such as me needs to like do something.
Well, yeah, like at first it did not feel much different than my normal life because I've worked from home, you know, with the exception of going to the gallery for a long time, for like 5 years, and been a
Right.
stay-at-home mom. So, but now it's starting to get to the point where it's like, like, you know, I at least used to like take my kid to the library or whatever, and now I'm just here all the time.
Yeah.
It's
Yep, I
weird.
know exactly what you mean. I mean, not the kid thing because I don't have
No,
kids,
well,
but I know what you mean. Like at least, yeah, like at least doing some stuff.
right,
It was,
right.
you know, I mean, all I've done in the past 2 or 3 months is go to the grocery store. You know.
Yeah, and I don't even do that because I don't really feel like I can take my kids because my 3-year-old like won't not put her mouth on things. So I got a Instacart subscription, and of course there is a weird like I'm such an introvert in a way that there is a weird part of me that's like, yeah, bring me my groceries. I don't have to see anyone.
Oh
Like
no, yeah.
I love that like all the takeout is no contact now. Like if you ever order anything, people just like, oh, we'll just drop it at your door. Like, yes, that's what I've wanted my whole life. Is not to have to talk to you.
I know it's I know what you mean, but it's still a little like
Yeah,
I
like
don't know,
after a while, you
sad.
know.
It's like
Yeah.
I don't. There's something sad about it, even though I totally feel that, like what you're saying, um, the introvert thing and everything. But there's something like now that it's too real, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, maybe I didn't want this after all. Maybe I just liked to complain about being around other people. But like you know, if you have zero contact with anybody for a long enough time, it doesn't matter who you are. you go feral, you know?
That's yeah, it's true. We do need human contact,
Yeah.
regardless of whether we want to admit that or not.
Yeah. Yep.
So
So yeah, I've been I was trying to think of something funny to say right there, but it took too long. I was gonna say, like, I've been starting a collection of human skin or something like that. But that's
yeah, have you found any that you can sew together? Any with enough like I don't know, staying power that you can make a whole suit to get inside of?
yeah. You're talking about the red dragon, right?
I'm in a weird. So
r-
yeah,
the red
yeah.
dragon continuum. I
Red
haven't reached
Dragon
that
is
pinnacle yet.
no. I've been reading. I accidentally read a horror book. I thought so. I ordered this book. I sometimes will order books based just on the cover, and I just won't read because, like, I don't know. I just can't. If I read the Dust Jacket, I convince myself I'm not gonna like it. So
Right.
sometimes I'll just order stuff. So I ordered this book that had a really fun looking cover, and it was like a peach with like holes like a vampire had bit it or whatever. And I thought it would be like, Christopher Moore, like that he does like funny stuff, like there'll be like a vampire novel, but it's like funny. It's
Right.
it's
No,
like a reference.
I've never heard Christopher Moore, but I mean, I get what you mean by saying
So
that.
that's what I thought I was getting into, and that was not what it was.
Right? Was it
It
like
was like
super?
super gory psychological horror, like serial killer, but I couldn't stop reading it because it was really good, because it was like literary horror, and it was
Hmm.
very like you could tell this guy. And I've read a lot of vampire novels, I'll admit. Like, I don't read the sparkly vampire novels, but I've read
Uh
Salem Slot,
huh.
I've read Let the Right One In, and all that stuff. And he was using a lot of that, but he was also doing a lot of like stuff about race and class, and it was a really good book, but it was horrifying. And so
Yeah.
now I'm in the weird, like, I'm in the human skin mode in my brain, because there was
Right.
a lot of stuff about like Helter Skelter and Jeffrey Dahmer, and because it was like vampires if they were serial killers,
Got it.
modern
That's kind of a
day.
cool concept.
Yeah, and like he like manipulated everyone, and then basically like would give women vampire aids. It was weird. It was
Oh.
just really, it was good though. But it was called the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and it had a really goofy cover. So I thought, this is gonna be funny.
Right.
No, it
Was
was
it
not.
funny at least in a dark way? It wasn't in the
No,
least. What?
there was no humor.
Really?
There was none. The
That's
book,
weird.
the cover, and the title are very misleading. And I worked in used bookstores for a long time, so I generally can look at a book and guess what it's going to be about. I was wrong.
Right.
Because they try to market that stuff to their target audience,
Yeah.
usually.
That sounds like a marketing error, like a marketing team that didn't really know what they were doing,
Yeah.
like a bad design choice.
So, but it was a good book. Anyways,
That's cool.
but I feel like a little morbid now.
Yeah, that was how this started on, right? Yeah, I mean, I get that. Like I watched. I mean, I would like scary stuff. I've been watching scary stuff my whole life, but there's a certain kind of scary stuff that I don't really dig. Sometimes that's some stuff I like. I don't know. I like monster movies. I like
Yeah,
campy
creature
horror
feature.
stuff. Yeah, I really like
I like
monster movies a
creature
lot.
features. I love like John Carpenter type stuff, like
Yeah.
stuff like that, where you never really, a lot of it, you never really see what's scary for a long time.
Right.
But I don't
Yeah.
like psychological, like, I don't know, generally.
Yeah. There's a let Jonathan. Let me know if that's better. Jonathan was saying he couldn't hear you, So I was turning that up. And actually, Chris pointed something out. I don't know if Chris is still here or not, but the flatter. I sent this to a flatter who sends it back as flat colors. It kind of like eliminates some of the kind of tedious work, And she just missed a little something where there was supposed to be blood here, and I think that I got it now. But
A flatter?
yeah, it's like So the deal with this is that my friend Chris did this. Do you know that poison ivy piece you got?
Yeah, yeah.
That guy, the guy that drew the art for that, drew the pencils for that, and I painted it. He did this piece, and then we sent it off, or he sent it off to an inker, Mark Stegbauer, and then they send it to me to color. So that's what I'm
I
doing.
see.
And the part of the process of doing the coloring is they call it flats, and what it is like when a piece is ink, like the ones that we did, they were painted. So I painted right over his pencils. But since this is inked, like there's a process that most pro inked comics do where like you if you're painting it digitally, you do this process, which is you just kind of cut everything out behind the inks. And so then you can just start dropping color in and changing color quickly. Is this making sense?
Sort of. I mean,
So
yeah.
yeah. So anyway, there's the part of the process. Like it takes the process of getting it to this point is super tedious.
I see.
And so people will do that for extra money. They're like really fast at it, and they'll do it for
Right.
money. So I sent it off to someone that called a flatter, and it saved me some time. So I'm one of
Right.
those lazy fucks who pays somebody to do shit like this, stuff like this. I'm getting some stuff in the chat. Okay. Eva, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I'm just going to keep painting this. Um, yeah, so I guess another thing, development since last time we talked, is that Pow is officially closing.
Yep.
That's actually, we didn't meet there, did we? No, we met before that, but
No, we met at Zapow the first time. Pretty sure.
I think we met. Well, we met before you were. We met before you had your work.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Like now I'm trying to draw up exactly when we met and I can't. The only thing I'm remembering is us talking at the Star Wars opening, but that was when I was there. So I guess maybe we met before. When did we meet before?
Yeah, I'm
Oh
not
my
sure.
goodness.
How did we meet? Guess it doesn't matter, right?
No.
We're both Asheville artists that live in Asheville, so we met somehow through
Yeah,
that
somehow,
community. And
some way. I don't know. Like every day now feels like a week, and every week feels like a month. So I don't know. It feels like we've known each other for years now, although
yeah,
that's not true at all. It's only been like 2 years, I think.
no, I think it's been longer than that, but
It's been longer. Okay.
yeah. But Zapow is yeah. You were that is at least more recently. That's usually where we did hang out when we hung out
Yeah. Well,
because of all the
that
openings and
yeah.
you were personing the gallery stuff. Is that the right term? I'm sure it is, right?
No, that's fine. I was just thinking of like me being the personification of the gallery as the way you said it, and it was
Yeah.
just I had a weird like cartoon thing pop into my head because my brain works that way.
You were right. You were like it's like Elizabeth's
No, I
face.
get it. You're trying not to say Manning the gallery. I was
Yeah.
whoa man. I was
You were
whoa
woe manning the gallery. Yeah.
whoa man.
Um, And so now, yeah, now that because of all this stuff, I mean, possibly other reasons, but because of this stuff that's the coronavirus and the gallery having to close doors to the public for fucking 3 months or whatever, uh, they're shutting down.
Yep.
I guess I'm gonna go pick up my stuff. I don't know. I thought about doing it tomorrow, but then I also thought about just waiting until like the last minute because I don't have to. It's not like I have to go far or anything.
Yeah.
You know. So
I don't know. I had like I needed stuff to be able to try and sell stuff, so I took it all a while ago because I was, I don't know, trying to hustle. So
yeah.
it's
I mean,
although the funny thing is I haven't really sold all that much of my own stuff. I'm mostly just getting commissions. People are being super nice and, asking for commissions, but
well, that's pretty cool though. I
yeah,
get if you enjoy doing it. I
it's
mean,
fine.
I haven't sold hardly any of my own stuff either. There was a little run where I sold a few things uh, a couple months ago because I kind of like I don't know. I concentrated on social media for like 3 days in a row, and then I started kind of seeing like a little bit of stuff happening on my site, and then you know how that is, man. It's like just the I don't know. It's hard
Yeah,
for
it's
me to.
weird. It comes in spurts. Like right when everything first shut down, I got a ton of activity on my website and a bunch of people buying prints and stuff. And I think people were just bored. And
Yeah,
that's online shop. And now it's really dropped off. But
yeah,
thankfully, yeah, the commissions and the people who are asking for commissions have been really cool and they want really cool stuff done. So that's always fun.
yeah,
It's really like the people that are like want me to do something completely outside of what I normally do, and then I'm like, I don't know about that.
yeah. That that Pitbull piece. It wasn't a Pitbull, was it? It was a
Oh, it's a pit bull mastiff. You're talking about the
yeah,
Aria one.
yeah. That was so awesome.
Thanks.
I really like that piece a lot.
I
It
really
was
like
just
it.
what's that?
I really liked making it, and I think that comes across. Um, I really enjoyed it. And it was
Right.
for a good friend of mine from like back in the day, and they like had a really stiff deadline and stuff that I don't normally do. But I was like, I love you, and your dog's beautiful, and I really love that you want your dog to be Arya Stark. So
Yeah. Good choice.
I
Yeah, that's what kind of maybe possibly keeps me away from looking for commission work or thinking about commission work is that if I don't want to do something, I can't.
see. I just tell people no now. I had a person that wanted me to do that was going to pay me like more than what I usually charge to do a portrait of a person, and I was like, I don't do people. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not good at people. It's not going to look good. Like, that's just. I mean, I could try, but I just don't want to, so I'm not going to do it. And they were like, "What?" You like really put off. I'm like, I just
Yeah,
say no.
yeah. I mean, that's how you know that like you've kind of got to this to a it's a point that you get to, like, and I think it means that you're doing all right
Yeah.
when you're just.
Thanks.
I mean, you know, you're not afraid to say no. I think it's like I think
I've
any kind
definitely
of
gotten more
person
and more that way, for sure.
I think any kind of person that does any kind of freelance work, it would be helpful for them to learn to say no earlier. It seems like the place that almost every freelancer arrives at sooner or later.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, freelancer anything. Um,
Yeah, you have to get really good at I can't think of the word I want to use. Anyway, sticking up for yourself. I had a more elevated word in my brain that won't come out. But, you have to get good at advocating. That's the one I wanted to use. Advocating for yourself and
okay,
saying, you know, you have to pay me this much up front, like no matter what, you have to follow these things, guidelines, and I have these guidelines,
right.
like being like, this is what I do, and you know, you're important to me, but I'm also a business, and this is how I operate. So
Right.
if you don't want to do that, then too bad.
Right.
And people are pretty good about, like, since I put guidelines for commissions on my website, and it was like, these are the prices and this is the process and that's it. And people are really good about being like, okay, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if that's you kind of attract good customers when you are assertive like that. You attract the kind of customers that kind of respect what you do, you know,
Mhm.
or and not in like a you better recognize my genius kind of way, but more just like no, more like I'm a person,
Bitch better have my money kind of way.
right?
No, I try to be very respectful, you know, and kind to people, but also, like, boundaries are good.
Yeah, gotta have
So,
them.
and I think you get that. You seem to be very much like, no, I do what I do, and that's what I do, and like, if you're not into that, then go. See you later. Like,
Yeah, not in a mean way. It's just kind of like
no.
life's too short, kind of a thing, and fortunately, I've got other ways to like make money
Yeah.
right now, and so I just a lot of times when opportunities come up, I say, would I rather do this or web development? And if the answer is web development because the job is whatever, just something I'm not interested
Right.
in, then I can afford to say no. I know that a
Yeah.
lot of artists don't have that, and it's like I totally respect people doing whatever it is. It's like it's not like I look down on it or anything. It's just I guess I'd rather just I hope it doesn't happen, but I'd rather just toil away in agony and obscurity for my whole life doing stuff that I want to do.
Yeah. No, I get that. I feel like I'm kind of like in an in-between state. Like, I won't take every single thing because have you know, husband who has a full-time job that basically will support me if I don't, which is very fortunate. But
Right.
I also, like, until we had kids, I had always made my own money. So I also have like the same like prideful thing where I don't really want to depend on another person,
Right.
but I still have that security blanket sort of happening. Um, so I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm actually in sort of the best position for me, which is like, I'm not afraid to say no to people, but I will do some things, you know, probably beyond like just what I want to do.
Right. Yeah, and I really don't mean to sound snotty by saying that
No,
at
I don't
all.
think you
I
sound
mean,
snotty.
I
That's
think
your prerogative
it's a
to,
personal choice in
yeah,
no way whatsoever. I mean, people, I mean, art is a skill like anything else. It's a set of skills, right? And a lot of people that I totally, totally respect, they use those skills to like make money, and they
yeah,
can do whatever the hell they want. It's not like the only reason why I'm putting so many caveats here is because there are snooty artists out there, like hipster artists. There are hipster
I get
everythings
a lot
that'll.
of criticism. I get criticism from people all the time. That's like that snooty, elevated artist criticism thing.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
like, yeah, I'm more of a, I like, I'm a blue collar kind of artist.
no, I get that. I get that. I will say too, like, as I'm sitting here, like petting my dog that has become my emotional support animal.
Oh
My
yeah, hold your dog
quarantine
up.
puppy. My quarantine puppy is sleeping with me,
Can
but
you hold him up? Oh, is he sleep? He's down. He's sleeping.
she has a
She.
pretty good schedule. She like goes to sleep when the kids go to sleep usually,
Mm-hmm.
but she has to sleep next to me. So she'll like wake up out of like a dead sleep and follow me to wherever I am to go back to sleep. um, but
Nice.
like the part of the reason, like with the commissions, I'm kind of soft about them is that like I love pets and people's pets and like meeting people's pets and seeing pictures of people's pets, kind of to like a weird degree. So that's part of what I like about like the like why the commissions aren't that hard once I kind of made it more of a like I do pet portraits, you know,
Right.
but fun pet portraits. Like I very rarely want to do a conventional one. I would much rather, you know, put your dog in armor or whatever.
Yeah, the pet portraits you do are not straight up pet portraits. You do
But I
uh
also love pets and dogs and
yes.
and it just makes me like right now I'm doing one that's not a pet portrait, that's a commission. It's this dude that works for, it's a part of the parks department that does restoration of historical places, and they're the acronym that describes them is STLPGS, so they call themselves the Steel Pigs.
Nice.
So he wants pigs like zoomorphic, anthropomorphic, whatever pigs.
Yeah.
And like that's just like, oh, I haven't done like I literally was like, I haven't done pigs yet. This is gonna be great. You
Yeah.
know.
That's
Um,
I think that's the thing. I think you might have put kind of put your finger on the on maybe the something there. It's kind of like um people come to you because you do the zoomorphic
yeah. Yeah.
animals, and so you're applying your thing, which like you've got a thing, you know.
Yeah.
We've
Well, and
talked
I
about
feel
this
like
before. You love
yeah,
doing that. You're going to stick with it for
yeah,
now, and so since you have a thing, you can become known for something, and people will come to you to do that thing. It's not just like here's a picture of my dog, paint
right.
this picture of my dog. It's like I want you to give the Elizabeth Albright treatment to my pet.
Right.
So it's
But it
different.
took a while. It took a while for people to like get that. And it was so that was part of why it was so exciting to me, like that people were finally like, oh, this is what you do, you
Right.
know? And once they got it, like I did have someone message me recently about doing something and they wanted like this conventional, very like basically they just wanted me to copy a National Geographic photo. And I was like, I don't do that, dude. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't like if it's your pet, like I'll do a conventional portrait of a pet from time to time, and that's fine. But I feel like when you get into like this is someone's photography, like if it's like a National Geographic portrait of picture of a whale, that's someone's photography. Like that's someone's
Right.
intellectual property. So I'm not gonna like straight up copy that.
Yeah,
But
that's a little weird.
yeah, for the most part, though, like you know, people seem to get it now, and so that's helpful.
Yeah, that's the thing is that you kind of weed out people that don't get it. And it's
Yeah,
not their fault. I mean, people aren't super schooled in every all this art inner workings of the artist. They're like, you know, so it's not really their fault. It's just you kind of
no,
begin to select out like the people that aren't really on your wavelength or whatever. Just kind of start
well,
selecting
it's
themselves
also
out.
just a general marketing thing. Like, I feel like people would get what you do, and they wouldn't be like, "Hey, do you want to do this sweet picture of my daughter or whatever?" Doing, you know, like
You'd be
I feel
surprised. I've been asked to do commissions before of stuff that
like family portraits and stuff in a normal way. Um, well, no, I guess what I'm saying, like, I know people. So there was someone I vended next to or one time at an art show, and they were like, I don't understand. They did everything. Like they did landscapes and they did floral things, still lifes, and they did portraits of people and they did portraits of animals. They did everything.
yeah.
They couldn't get like why people were asking me like while we were there, like, oh, do you do commissions, do you do that? And she's like, why aren't they asking me? I was like, they don't know what to ask you for. You have too much
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, that's
even though my stuff is weird and it might alienate some people, you know what it is. Like
yeah.
it's there's no question.
Yeah,
um
I can sympathize with that person. because I kind of do a lot of different things. I mean, I think it's kind of calming down a little bit.
But I feel
I'm
like your stuff
focused.
all has a certain look. Like
Yeah,
it has a similar color palette. Like it all feels like it sort of blends together. It has your certain style to it. Um,
yeah,
to me, it feels, but that might just be me. And I've looked at it a lot,
right.
so I don't know. But it feels pretty cohesive to me.
Oh, okay, cool.
But
So you're saying my art's boring, right? That's
no,
I know.
I'm
I know you're not. I know you're not. I was just thought that I would
all
say
over my
something.
house.
Thank you. Is I think you're.
It's
Did you
mostly in
say?
my son's room actually because he steals it all.
Yeah,
But
I was gonna say you said that your son grabs all the art
yeah,
and takes it.
yeah,
It's pretty funny.
he's a pretty cool kid, so you should be.
Oh yeah, I'm flat. I'm honored.
He's really into. He's trying to convince me to. We've been reading chapter books because he's 6. We've been reading Roald Dahl because that's what I had already.
Nice, good start.
Yeah, yeah, and I thought like we're reading The Witches right now, and I was like, oh no, this might be a little scary, and he's like, oh no, it's great. So he's trying to convince me. He heard about now I suddenly can't think of the horror series, the R.L. Stein. Why can't I think of
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps? He's heard about Goosebumps, and now he really wants me to read him Goosebumps, and I'm like, okay. So we're gonna start down the Goosebumps path.
Goosebumps path.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's into like the horror stuff and the superhero stuff. And
That's cool. Kids
fun.
I mean, kids are scared of horror stuff, but they always like it. I mean, I know I did. I would scare the shit out of me, but I still couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah.
I think it's just the imagination stuff. It's just fun to use your imagination, even if it's to scare the shit out of yourself.
Well, it's kind of like it's an experience that makes them feel different than they normally feel. It's kind of like they don't know what drugs are yet, so being scared is like a drug. It's like a
Yeah.
kid will spin around in a circle until they get dizzy. Like that's drugs for kids.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. Seems to be, yeah, I totally buy that. I totally dig that. I totally get it. It's a head change.
Mhm.
So that's explains a lot about my own life, as a matter of fact. Explains a lot about my history.
You can't get enough goosebumps. Yeah.
Did you
Move
watch
on.
that? Did you ever watch that movie?
The new one, the new movie with was it Jack Black?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched it with him when he was probably too young to watch it, and he doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
So
I just
we'll have to watch it again.
cool. Yeah, the second one's a little bit kind of a more of the same kind of thing. I didn't
Yeah.
like it as much. It's still probably a fun kids movie, but I really liked the first one. I thought it was really cool. It was yeah, I always liked Jack Black, and so it was fun to watch.
We
Uh,
did just watch School of Rock, and he loved that.
Hell yeah, that's a great one. That's good. I'm glad to hear that kids like rock and roll.
Oh yeah, so okay, so this child has always had trouble sleeping. So we'd put like a CD player in his room, and he used to listen to Nora Jones every night because that was like the calmest music that I had.
Uh huh.
And he decided he wanted to listen to something different. He really likes Queen, and I was like, well, Queen's a little like raucous for you to go to sleep to. So now he listens to Tom Petty every night to go to sleep. That's what he picked.
Wow.
Yeah,
This kid's like a little. He's a champion.
he is, and he's memorized all the words, which I've had to kind of talk to him about some of the stuff because not all the Tom Petty is. Like he had to cut. He came in. He goes, "What's a joint, mommy?" And I was like,
Oh
"Oh,
yeah, that's right.
um, I was like,
Oops.
oh, it's like it's something that adults smoke sometimes. You don't need to think, like.
Yeah, I guess it's been so long since any of that even registered to me. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't hear it. Like, I don't think about it.
yeah,
And yeah, and so that's interesting from a child's perspective. I've also, for a very, very good friend, and I don't normally do stuff like that, I've been making this sign. And I don't like doing lettering, but I love her to death, so I would do it for her. And it has a bad word in it.
oopsie.
And he can read very well for a 6-year-old. And he came in there and he was sounding it out.
Right.
It's like, what's that last word? It says motherfucker. And I was
Oh,
like,
so it's really got a bad word. It's
yeah.
not. It's not like just any. It's not like ass. It's like
No, it's like one of the worst words.
the daddy of bad. One of the right.
And I was like, okay. And he said it, and I was like, really good reading, but that's not a word that you can say. Well, why is it on the? I was like, well, it's a word adults can say, because adults know when it's okay to say it. It's like, oh, I know another word like that, a bad word, and I was like, really? He said, the S word. And I was like, the S word? Oh, yeah. He was like, yeah, stupid. That's a dirty word. You can't say stupid. And I was like, yeah, that one too.
Wow. To be that young and innocent again.
So then I had to explain to him, though, because stupid, he's been reading this book called Dog Man, which is a kid's book, and it had the word stupid in it. And I was like, well, stupid's not like a curse word. It's just a word that's not nice, that you shouldn't say, like, call people stupid. It's like, he's just looking at me like, I don't understand.
Can you say the word or not, Mom? Like, just give it to me straight here.
Yeah. So it's so hard. And the English language is so hard too for kids, and it's hard for everyone, I guess. But yeah, they're funny.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I mean, I have nephews and nieces, and they're a lot of fun. I mean, I don't get to see them a lot. I don't get to see them because they live in Hickory, and it's not the same as like living with a kid, your own kid. But I got to see my nephew last weekend, and I brought him a comic called Hillbilly, which is this pretty cool comic. But it's kind of like, I mean, it's not for kids. I don't know if his mom let him keep it or not.
How old is he?
He's you're gonna make me seem like a bad uncle right now. He's 11. I'm gonna say he's 11.
Well, yeah. I don't know. 11's kind of like a weird middle ground where, like, I feel like some parents would pretty much be like, whatever. Like, by the time I was 11, it's kind of like, whatever.
It's yeah. I mean, it's sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
What was I gonna say? Oh, Hillbilly is it's like a swords and sorcery thing, but in the Appalachian Mountains. So it's just really cool, and each issue is set up like people sitting around the campfire telling the legend, telling like the legend of the hillbilly of the mountains. And so it's kind of like set up almost like a fairy tale thing, but it's a little bit violent. But I mean, there's not much cussing in it. I mean, it's like a dude that like his best friend is a talking bear. I don't know. It's like a kid. I think it'd be fine.
If you want to, for my perspective though, like I think I watched gosh, when did it come out? I might have not been 11. I might have been 12. I saw Pulp Fiction when I was like 12. So like that's like over the line.
Yeah. Well, yes. But, my it's funny that my aunts are on here right now, and I bring it up all the time that they were like my big sisters growing up, pretty much. And we watched many horror movies when I was a really little kid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I probably watched, I don't know, name one,
I saw Jaws when I was like maybe 5,
Yeah. Yep.
and I saw, because I have an older brother and sister that are 9 and 10 years older than me, so it was
Yeah.
just whatever I was watching. I saw what else? The Chucky movie. That one
Oh.
started for a long time. Child's Play.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that one too, and it's not cool. Don't show a kid that movie. You know. Actually, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if I don't know how old I was when I watched that one. I remember the ones I remember were like Freddy,
yeah, I saw
Nightmare on
that.
Elm Street, Jason.
Yeah,
Um,
Halloween.
what's that?
Halloween.
Oh, Halloween. Definitely Halloween.
Yeah, the Exorcist. I saw really young.
Yep. And
Um,
what I remember is like my grandmother, my grandma, she of course she was around too and stuff, and we would be all be sitting around watching these movies together as a family. And if somebody was getting their head chopped off, it was fine. But if there was like a topless woman that came on screen, she would grab my face and just like
see,
do do that
that,
to it. What's
that's
that?
already gone out the window. That's so funny to me because, like, so I really like Ranma One Half. Do you know Ranma One Half? It's an anime. It's a kids thing, but like, they don't really care as much about breasts being shown.
Mm-hmm.
And in Ranma One Half, he turns into it's a boy that turns into a girl if he's splashed with cold water. So like sometimes he'll be like he's like doing karate with no shirt on, and then he'll get splashed with cold water and turn into a girl, and then there's just breasts. And I've
Oh,
let my son watch it, and I just don't think about it because it's not sexual. It's just
right.
it's not like perverted in any way. Well, there is like some weird, but he wouldn't get it. Like it's an adult joke, but it's meant for kids, but it's just from a different culture than ours.
Right.
So it's not, because I guess it's Japanese. So, it's just but it's funny to me that people are upset about breasts. Like
Yeah,
I just don't.
I don't think it's really that much anymore. I mean, it's just, I mean, she was my grandma and I was
Oh, well, no, I get
5,
it. I think a lot of that is personal embarrassment with people.
Yeah.
Like,
She did that with cussing too. Like if somebody said the F word, she'd be like, why do they
hmm,
have to talk like that? But then it was
but
just
then
like
jumping off the school.
but it was like knives coming out, Freddy Krueger slashing people's heads off.
Yeah, yeah, violence. Well, that's an American
Yeah.
value thing. That
Yeah.
violence is. I'm gonna have to get my power cord because my computer is mad at me.
Well, it's actually almost 9 o'clock. Time
Okay.
flew by tonight.
So it might just kick me off in a minute. Yeah, it is almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
I haven't talked to
flew
a
by.
person in a while, so I'm sorry if I just talk nonstop.
Oh, no way, dude. It was great. It was great. I think we had a great conversation. I wish that we were going for another hour, but I don't want to wear out my welcome.
But this Conan thing that you're doing looks really cool.
Thank you. It's I told you did I tell you the story? I told you, didn't I?
Yes, you told me that the guy drew
Right.
the background yeah, and the flattener.
Yeah, the flatter. Yeah, I did tell you that.
Flatter.
Sorry. My brain is
Yeah, you said all those things.
I did. I just didn't want to I guess I'm like I want to make sure that everybody knows that I can't take credit for the art part of this.
Sure.
Just the
Sure.
painting part. But
now, dude, and we're just talking about random stuff. We should totally just do a podcast where we talk about like horror movies or something.
Oh, are you asking me to do a podcast?
I'm asking you to do a podcast so we can just talk to each other about random shit. That's what I'm asking you for because I have no adult contact.
Yes, you're on.
Except for my husband that lives with me.
You're on. We're doing it. We're gonna do it. Maybe we'll do a art slash. We'll do all
like
things.
all the culture, yeah.
All things
forms the art, right?
Yes.
even though my stuff's not always necessarily pop culture, like I still feel like the history of watching all this stuff like has informed it in a way.
Yeah.
You
No, I
know?
mean that definitely. It all feeds into it all feeds in. It's like, I mean, maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't do like a lot of pop culture stuff, but I know a ton about pop. I mean, it's the stuff that inspired us probably to become artists in the first place. I mean, I wasn't really inspired by uh, as I mean, when I got older, maybe I was, but I wasn't as inspired by artists as I was by imaginative, creative things.
No, I wanted to be like the things I wanted to be before when I was a kid was I wanted to be a Disney animator. I wanted to make like Disney movies, or I wanted to be like part of the creature shop at like the Jim Henson puppets. Like that's the kind of stuff I wanted to do. Puppetry and
That's
like
cool.
and then it became and I think that's part of what has made the whole like the animal people things like this weird like all that stuff in Disney, like all the talking animals and the puppetry and all that other stuff. Because that's what I grew up watching, like Fraggle Rock and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like, just weird, wild, just super creative, off the wall, different stuff. Um, and
Yeah.
like you said, like I got older and I could appreciate, like I'm almost 40, like I can appreciate some water lilies or whatever, like some
Yeah.
stuff now. But
Totally.
I like
I
the
mean,
weird stuff.
yeah. I mean, now that I get what you're saying. I mean, and also it probably has something to do with being an artist. You can appreciate that stuff, and also, I mean, like I love nature and stuff. I like when I
Yeah.
went on that porcupine kick, it was like, I love part of being one of the things I love the most about being an artist is even though I don't draw like straight up realistic pictures of porcupines, I go off and I research porcupines and I look at
Yeah.
them and I'm like in wonder of like the world, and it's like
Well,
it's
that
so
I mean
great.
that thing even exists is amazing.
Yeah,
Like I said, it's a living Pokemon. It is like
exactly.
the weirdest thing. And you're like, wow.
Right, exactly. And it's like,
That's
you
amazing.
just you if you look around, you never run out of stuff like that. And
Oh
it's
no,
I mean,
never.
I know that, it's hard to be a person a lot of the times and stuff like that and you have people have problems, and you get involved in your problems and everything, but there's just so much shit in the world. There's like always new stuff to get into and
Yeah.
learn
No,
about and stuff.
research is so much fun, and it's funny because people are like, I don't know. I guess some people just don't get it. Like I've been reading a book. I found a new book about like the Middle Ages, and I'm reading about all this weird stuff that happened, and it's like haven't you read enough about the Middle Ages? Like no, but I didn't know about this one really weird thing. Like
Right.
let me tell you about it. Um, but yeah, like just finding out about weird stuff that happened, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're more of a history buff than I am.
Well,
But
history is wild, dude.
yeah.
Part of it, I think, was that you listen to history like in school, and they kind of tell everyone the same kind of stuff. But then if you go out and you read like history from people like from different perspectives, it's just there's all sorts of stuff that goes on they don't ever talk about in school. It's
Yeah.
just wild
Real
that like
history.
yeah, like just crazy stuff. Like I'm reading this book right now that's basically the era that the Game of Thrones was based off of. On the plantagens, I'm probably saying their name wrong, and like the after the 100 Years War and all these just people just fighting for power of Europe and killing each other and betraying each other and you
Right.
know
So that was I did read, I don't it didn't the name of the period didn't stick in my head, but I did read that was kind of loosely based on a real time.
yeah, it's the War of the Roses. It's based on like the even the one of the in Game of Thrones, the one family is represented by roses.
Yeah.
The Lancasters, which sounds a lot like the Lannisters, is one of the major families in the War of the Roses. Like
Oh.
and I've been reading this book about that time before that happened, and you're like, oh, that's where he got this idea, and that's where he got that idea. Yeah, it's people are
Yeah.
something.
You're a super nerd.
Me?
Yeah, super nerd about it. It's awesome. I'm a super nerd
I
about.
get really excited about stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. And I feel bad sometimes for my husband because I'll be reading it and I'll be like, hey.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he's probably
And we've got our
he's
thing.
probably all right. I've been kind of ignoring the chat a little bit. I don't mean to be ignoring the chat, guys. I just wanted to keep the conversation going. But Eva, yeah, nature creation is pretty amazing. In the vein of calm music, look up Moonchild. Nate, sorry, buddy. I hope you're still here. How you doing, brother? Moonchild. If you like Nora Jones, I'm getting a recommendation here to look up Moonchild. Do you know who that is?
I do not know Moonchild.
Cool.
I'm not a huge fan of Nora Jones. My son, it was just a CD I had that was. I mean, she's fine, but yeah, definitely, I'll check it out. Good mellow. Moonchild is I'm assuming, just a different artist that sounds like Nora Jones. Is that what we're?
Yeah, it might be a band, like a group, but
Right.
it's in the vein of calm music like Nora Jones. So your kid might like it.
Yeah.
To go to sleep to.
Cool.
Instead of Queen, that crazy devil music, Queen.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do this again soon, and everybody stay tuned for our podcast called Super Nerds.
Super Nerds.
No, I don't know.
You can draw little capes and stuff flying in the air. Super Nerds.
Yep.
You need that logo. Put pictures of your cats on your. You can't do that. Mark Maron already did that.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, you know what? Before we go, there's a little bit of a tussle on the internet this week. There was some study that was done about men that own cats not being able to get a date. And I meant to bring that up on the stream tonight.
A man that owned cats not being able to get a date?
Yeah, there was some study, like 18 to 24-year-olds, which is women. Yes, they are women, but I mean, they're college age, so it's not really like or 18 to 22 or something. They showed them pictures of men, and they said, yeah, I might date that dude. And then they showed them pictures of the same guy with a cat, posing with a cat in his in his dating profile picture, and they were like, "No, I probably wouldn't date that guy."
So that cat's a cock block, basically. Is that
maybe, I don't know. Well, I think what it is that, I mean, but the headline was like, "If you own a cat, you're never going to get a date." Like, it was that. But the study, once you read the study, it's like girls 18 to 22 that are in college are not as, they just, and there's some, I mean, but then they showed the pictures, and the pictures are like a dude in like a turtleneck sweater, like kissing his cat on the face, so it's not just like, oh, Elizabeth's gone. I'll tell you guys the rest of this story. It's not just like a dude and his cat. It's more like a weird picture of a dude and his cat, So anyways, on that note, I think I'm going to end this because I'm losing my mother effing mind. For those of you that are still here, thanks for sticking around. I had a lot of fun. I talked a lot, and Elizabeth and I talked a lot, but I hope you guys had a good time in the conversation. Thanks everybody for coming. Kimberly says dudes who like cats are great. Thank you. I agree. It is stupid. Even I think what my point was is that the headline tried to make it sound like this big dramatic thing, like a lot of headlines do. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. He shouldn't be kissing it. Well, you know what I mean. Like, just a really like. Never mind. You know what I'm saying. I don't think I have to really go into too much detail about like why it might be a little bit of a turnoff for a guy in a turtleneck sweater to be uh, kissing his cat in his dating profile picture. Anyway, what was I saying? I guess I'm done. You know, I'm done. It's 9 o'clock. It was great to hang out with you guys. I love you. I love all of you. I'm gonna kiss my cat to close it out. No, I'm not. I'm gonna hold up my cat though. Here goes Boom Boom. What's up, Boom? I woke him up. Here's Boom. Makes me super dateable. Look at him. Look at this dude. Oh my god, he looks so tired. All right. All right, that's it. Love you guys. Until next time. Elizabeth, thank you again. She's still in the chat. Your computer died. All right. Later,